Welcome to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good in our community, and also, too, talking about how to be a catalyst. We are here with the founder and CEO of Catalyst Collective, Sunny Bray. How are you doing, Sunny?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Catalyst Collective. Give us a little bit of history for you starting Catalyst Collective.
Absolutely. So my background is actually not in entrepreneurism. I am corporate sales, tech sales. I love to help small businesses grow and scale into new markets. So I really had no vision or desire to become an entrepreneur. However, when moving to Nashville, I was engulfed in the community and seeing how so many people wanted to help serve the nonprofits. And I've developed a really strong network here and wanted to help provide resources and support our nonprofits.
Hey, that's how entrepreneurs start, is they see a need, they see an opportunity, and they say, you know what, let me work to power that good and let's do this. And so especially on your end, knowing that your heart is around service and trying to make a difference and plug into the community, like you said, and you see this opportunity. And so talk about what you do, because it's storytelling, it's fundraising, it's strategy, it's a lot of technology too. So give us an idea of what all you do with Catalyst Collective.
Right. So essentially, we provide resources to nonprofits. We specialize in web development, technology, storytelling, and fundraising. And nonprofits are already strapped for resources. They have difficulty with capacity building. There's one individual working 4 or 5 different jobs and has several responsibilities. And we come alongside our nonprofit partners and we support them. We help them get the resources that they need. We help them with project management. And essentially, we help empower them and help them grow as an organization so that they can effectively deliver their mission and serve their communities.
When you talk about nonprofits, it's always, we need help raising awareness, we need help fundraising and raising more dollars, and we need more volunteers and board members as well. So you get the three-pronged approach there. Where do you like to start when you're sitting down with a nonprofit and saying, okay, let's assess the situation, let's figure out where the needs are? Where do you like to start? What are the questions you like to ask to kind of get started?
Well, first, I always want to know the person I'm talking to. I want to know why it is that they work with the organization that they do, and where's the passion. I think nonprofit leaders, they could be doing so many other different things, and this is the work that they choose to do, and I always want to know why. And then we kind of work from there, and we help them get access to an audience that maybe they otherwise wouldn't have had. And we want to ensure that they get the visibility that they need, because at the end of the day, these nonprofits need financial support. They need, like you said, they need donors, they need volunteers. And in order to get those things, we need to help them tell the story of who they are, what they do, why they do it, and the impact that they can continue to have in their community.
Let's have some fun with this and share some tips and recommendations. Let's start on the website side, the web development. So what are some of your favorite recommendations when it comes to creating an interactive, an engaging website and really helping a nonprofit kind of share that story through a website?
First, they need to outsource. They need to find a partner like us who really wants to help them, like I said, get access to more donors, more volunteers, help them tell the story, work alongside and help them speak to the audience that they're looking to speak to, and make it really clear and concise of what the ask is. So we work with the nonprofits on a number of different variables in terms of just website design, development, SEO, content, all the things. So I think just working with someone that they can trust, that is very knowledgeable in their field, and that can really help.
What are some calls to action? I know one obviously is signing up for a newsletter. You see those sort of pop-ups. You see others obviously focused around donation, but what's one tip around a call to action to make sure that you're capturing some sort of an ROI through your website?
I think having a newsletter, like you mentioned, helping to bring awareness to what they do. I think initially when someone comes to a nonprofit's website, they first want to know, what do they do? What are the programs that they have? What are some of the partners that they work with? What's the impact that they have already? And I think those are some really important things to have on a website.
Talk about storytelling. So what makes a compelling story for a nonprofit? Obviously, emotion is a big piece of it. So, that's one tie is making sure that you're evoking emotion, but what makes a good story?
Data. I think it's really important for, again, you talk about ROI. Donors want to know where their dollars are going, and they want to know the impact that those dollars are having. And so being able to have a nonprofit that can share what the impact that their programs have, how they're able to really serve their communities, what's the impact that they were able to have on a specific individual, and how are their lives completely changed now moving forward.
And then talk about fundraising, because obviously when you talk about fundraising, it's a critical piece for nonprofits, but what are some of your favorite tips around fundraising?
I think nonprofits need to be able to diversify their funding. They need to have not only grants, but individual donors as well. They need to have community partners, support from their small and large businesses.
And when you look at creating an engagement for like the board team, so using your board members as ambassadors, as a network, a sphere of influence, what's one tip around engaging the board of a nonprofit to be more strategic in going out and fundraising for the nonprofit?
So again, it actually comes back to storytelling. Storytelling is not only important for the community and potential donors and volunteers, but it's also important for the staff and their board members, because a lot of times the staff needs to be reminded of the work that they're doing. Nonprofit work is tough, and the board members also need to be reminded why they are volunteering their time. They need to hear the stories and the impact that the organization is having.
Give me one of your favorite stories, or just a success story in general, for Catalyst Collective working with a nonprofit and helping them achieve results. So give me one success story.
We have an organization who is doing incredible work in the community, and they are helping to alleviate childhood trauma. And they're an older organization. They're a very small team, but we have come along and we're helping them raise awareness in the community of the work that they're doing. We're helping to grow their brand. They've already reached over 1,000 followers on Instagram. And in today's market, I think that's really important. If they're trying to access a new audience, it's really important to partner with us to help them grow that brand.
How have you changed going from the tech sector on one side to becoming an entrepreneur, working with nonprofits and helping them achieve results, but ultimately being able to see, hey, what you do matters and can make a difference in the larger scheme into the community? How has that changed you?
I think personally, I have more of a passion to it. I still believe that nonprofits need to operate more like businesses. I think there's a lot of value to come from that. But I feel like my heart is more tied to it than versus the for-profit, because I get to help a lot of nonprofits, and I know that the resources that we provide to them are really going to help them go a long way.
Share a little bit of, for you as a young professional moving to a new city, you immersed yourself and in a lot of different groups and got involved in service projects and organizations. And that allowed you to create a center of influence, a network that really has kind of led to this new chapter for you. Talk about that in the context of, for other young professionals who are moving to a new city, who are trying to create a foothold, trying to figure out kind of their purpose. Share some of your story in relation to kind of words of advice for them to create their own story.
Sure. I learned early on that relationships and networking are key. I developed a really broad network in Indianapolis. So I knew already moving to Nashville, to a new city, that I needed to hit the ground running, that I needed to do as much networking as possible, meet as many people as possible. And in Nashville, it's really easy to do. There's a lot of events here, pre-pandemic, of course, and people are very open to meeting with other people. It's a very relationship-driven community. And so I really dove deep early on. And I think once you do that and you build these solid relationships and you really make sure that you build those, then it continues to grow from there. I met some wonderful people that, again, helped open more doors, created more opportunity. And not only were they able to help me professionally, but they've come alongside and they've helped me personally. They've become personal mentors and coaches of mine. And I think if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today.
You mentioned obviously a lot more events pre-pandemic. So what's been the impact of the pandemic on Catalyst Collective and your efforts?
It's actually been really great. I think with nonprofits, they all have an annual fundraising event. Lunch, breakfast, golf tournament. And with the pandemic and with lockdown, it forced them to have to, I hate the word, but pivot. It forced them to shift their approach, their strategy, and how do they get more awareness? How do they continue to have support from donors and volunteers? And so they've worked with us to help them with digital storytelling. We're coming along and we're helping them tell the story, and we're helping them get access to more people.
When you talk about outsourced partner, what are some of the key advantages? Because I think you have thought leadership, you have focus, that you're laser focused. So in other words, you're going to immerse yourself in a lot of learning new technologies, innovations, trying new things that you can bring to the table. But talk about the benefits of an outsourced partner versus trying to handle everything in-house for a nonprofit that already is short-staffed. So what are some of the advantages?
So the advantage, first and foremost, is helping the nonprofits reduce overhead. By partnering with us, they do not have to hire a full-time employee, when a lot of times their need doesn't need a full-time employee. And so with working with us, they only need the resources that they need, and we help them by facilitating the capacity building. We're helping to do resource and nonprofit matching that will ideally help the organizations effectively deliver their mission.
Talk about working with companies on the corporate partnership side, because you have an engagement opportunity for companies. So talk about that side of the business.
We have a lot of partners, a lot of for-profit partners, where they are essentially part of our collaborative community of resources. They are companies, small businesses that they're considered our catalysts for change. They are companies that already do great work for our for-profit partners, but they have a heart for working for nonprofits. And not that they necessarily have a pro bono budget, but they partner with us and they give our nonprofit clients a nonprofit rate. So nonprofits work with us in order to get a reduced rate for services, and our for-profit partners work with us because they are then able to serve the nonprofits, and they do it at an affordable rate, at a reduced rate for nonprofit clients.
Tease us a little bit with some of the different corporate partners in terms of some of those different services. And when you talk about a discount, like what does some of that look like?
Sure. So we have a couple of different partners in terms of marketing, website development, technology, data. And we just brought on a new partner. It is a CIO demand service, and they are providing IT strategy for our nonprofits.
Very cool. Wrap up with contact information. So your website, social media, where does everyone go to learn more about Catalyst Collective? CatalystCollective.co is our website. And then you can find us on Instagram, Facebook,
Twitter and LinkedIn.
Well, make sure everyone, catalystcollective.co, make sure everyone check them out. Catalyst Collective, Sunny Bray, thank you for all you do. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.